Hello, everyone. How are you today? So, today I want to talk to you about one of my favorite topics, which is time and how to move from a time scarcity mindset to a time abundance mindset. I will tell you that this is the area where my changing of my mindset has changed my life and how much stress, how much burnout, all the things was really my thoughts about time and how there was not enough of it to do everything that needed to be done. And I was a wreck because of that. And so, really, what I want to help you do is move from a mindset of there's not enough time to there's plenty of time. And really, it's how you think about time that really matters because we all have the same amount of time. So, how is it possible that some people get everything they want to accomplish done and others of us are big stress balls because we don't have enough time? So, how is it that some people have abundance of time and some do not when they have the same circumstances? All right. Full-time jobs, parents, all the things. There are people who have plenty of time and there are people who don't. And it's all because of how we think about time. So, one of the things I want you to even consider is that our concept of time wasn't even a thing before the 1800s. Think about it. No one had watches, no one had calendars, no one had schedules. How did all the things get done? People just did them. They did what they wanted to do based on when the sun came up or when the sun went down. It wasn't based on a clock. All right. So no one scheduled anything. Think about that before the 1800s. Really, it came into existence, this whole punch in, punch out, every single hour needs to be productive with the Industrial Revolution and Henry Ford and his factory where people were clocking in, clocking out. That's where all of this started. So before that, you just basically did the things that you felt like needed to be done and you were happy with that. You didn't know what time you were doing stuff. So we just knew that we wanted to do stuff each day and we did it. So I want to go over 3 things that will help you change your mindset from time is scarce to time is abundant. And this will change your life in terms of stress and how spacious you feel during the day and how fulfilled you feel at night. It made such a huge difference in my life. I can't even tell you. And these things are going to sound pretty simple, and they are, but I don't necessarily think they were easy. They took months and months and months of daily practicing and paying attention to change how I thought about it. All right. So, number 1, decide right now that you will no longer be a victim to time. Our society teaches us that we are at the effect of time. It's just not true. Society teaches us to blame time when we really just need to use it deliberately. So I want you to catch yourself anytime that you say, I don't have time. You absolutely do have time. Everybody has the same amount of time. What you need to do is just start being honest about it. I don't have time usually either means I don't want to, or I don't want to take the time to figure out how to. I don't have time is a huge excuse. And it's so victimy. It makes you feel like you're disempowered, right? You want to feel empowered when you think about time. So, what you want to do is remind yourself that you are in control of how you use your time every single second of the day. You get to choose how you use your time. Your mind's going to want to tell you, no, that's not my choice. You know, I have babies, I have kids, I have this, I have that. You're still making a decision. The only decision really that you don't get to make in life is when you die. And even that's debatable. So think about this. Every single thing that you use your time for, you're choosing to use it. This is a much better way to look at it because when you feel like you're a victim of time, you're going to think you don't have enough. And that's where the scarcity comes from. It's very victimy. You know, there's not enough for me. I'm the victim here. It's not useful, my friends. Now, your brain might be telling you that it's true, but it's not useful. So think something useful, like I'm in total control of my time and how it gets used. Take responsibility for it. Take responsibility for how you use your time because it's all up to you. So, one of the exercises that I want you to try is what I call the have to versus want to exercise. Make a list of all the stuff that you have to do and really ask yourself the question, do I want to do this? Do I choose to do this? If the answer is no, come up with an exit strategy to get out. And a perfectly feasible exit strategy is I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not doing this anymore. Okay. Another exit strategy might be I need to train somebody so that they can do it. There's all kinds of different exit strategies, but don't kid yourself and tell yourself that I have to do it because no one else will. Okay. Then I want you to take back your power. Take back your power. Choose what you want to use your time on. Choose how you're going to use your time. Constantly remind yourself that you are in control of your time because it's not useful to think that you're not. This was the biggest mindset shift that I have made in the last 2 years. It has completely changed my life. I deliberately practice thinking that I am in total control of my time. I write it down every day. I am in total control of my time. And I believe that now. I didn't believe it at the beginning. I had to practice it. So you have to practice believing that. Practice believing that you are in total control of your time. I'm going to tell you, this alone freed up probably 15 hours a week for me. I was working 80 hours a week, given all the things that were going on in my life with my coaching business, working full time, traveling, all the things. This alone freed up 10, 15 hours a week. And it will for you too. Now, it's not a magic bullet. It is something that you have to practice. So if you get nothing else out of this presentation, own it. You are not a victim of time. You own it. Be deliberate, use it, and pay attention to how you use it. So that's what the next two things are going to be, is really the next two things are about how you use your time. And a lot of what we do really is just a misuse of time. There's no result that we're actually getting from it. And our mind likes to tell us that, oh, that's not, that's just something we do. But we can be in control. Again, you are in control of this. So what I want you to do is minimize what I call time thieves. So time thieves are anything that pulls you away from being present and deliberate about your time. So let me repeat that again. A time thief is anything that pulls you away from being present and deliberate. So some examples. Your brain running amok with worry, indecision, confusion, second guessing, overwhelm, ruminating. That's a time thief, because it goes on and on and on and on. You're just elongating, using up time and not getting anywhere. So if you catch yourself doing this, what I want you to do is one simple thing. Ask yourself, what is one thing that I can do right now to move forward? And go do it. Don't allow your brain to overprocess, ruminate, all the things. Go do it. You'll feel so much better. You'll get a result, and you'll use your time much more productively. Here's another one. Quit taking responsibility for things because other people are dropping the ball. I had a client who was doing this. She was basically trying to do other people's jobs so that she could communicate with a customer so that she wouldn't look bad. She freed up 10 hours a week when she stopped doing this. And it was because she felt so uncomfortable that the client was going to think that she wasn't doing her job. When really she just had to say, I don't have an answer yet. And she practiced that for weeks and weeks and weeks. And she finally got to a point where it became second nature, and it freed up so much time and stress and energy for her. It was amazing. So don't take responsibility for things that aren't yours. People pleasing. You got to watch. When are you doing things just because you want people to like you? Or you don't want people to be mad at you? That's what I hear most often. Well, I have to do this because they'll be mad. Who cares? They'll get over it. I know it's really uncomfortable, especially if that is your go-to stress response is to people please and fawn. I know it's so uncomfortable to say no and not say yes to people just because we know they're going to be mad if we don't. That's their issue, not yours. Embrace the discomfort, because this whole thing is a waste of time. Procrastination is another thing. It creates time debt in the future. And most of the time, it's our brain saying, I don't feel like it. You can hear yourself say, I don't feel like doing that. I planned on doing that. I don't feel like doing it. So what? Treat your brain like a toddler. What would you say to a toddler that when you want them to do something and they say, no, I don't feel like it? You'd say, too bad. We're doing it anyway. So do that to your brain. Don't allow procrastination to create time debt for you. It is such a waste of time. Here's another big one: perfection. So we think there's a right way and that it has to be perfect so that we don't get judged. Let me give you some news. People are going to judge you no matter what. It doesn't matter if it's perfect. Perfect is just a definition in your mind. What's perfect to you isn't perfect to others. And what's not perfect to you is perfect to others. So perfect is like, it's a dream. It's a lie, basically, that your brain tells you, is that it has to be just right. And it's doing that to keep you safe, because at some point in your life, you learned that if I'm not perfect, I'm not safe. It's just not true. You are safe. You know, who cares if people judge you? That's their opinion. It'll make you feel bad for a little while. It'll go away. So perfection, striving for perfection all the time is a time thief. One of the things that I like to remind myself, because I do this as well, is B minus work. We're going for B minus work. And that has really helped me put things out into the world that aren't perfect by my standards. Once I write it, once I say it, I just do it. Even though I have thoughts that this isn't good enough, I say, I don't care. I'm doing it anyway. And that's what you need to do as well. And then finally, the really big time thief in today's day and age: social media, Netflix, TV, on-demand videos, whatever. Any kind of activity that is sucking up time and you don't even realize. So what I would recommend here is that you plan how much you're going to allow per day. The iPhone, and I'm not sure about the Android, but they all have applications that you could put on them to say, I want to limit my social media time to this, or I want to limit time on my phone to this. There are all kinds of tools out there that you can use to constrain your consumption of things that are a waste of time. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't watch Netflix, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't be on Facebook. All I'm saying is that you need to be deliberate about how much time of your time do you want to spend on that. Because if you're not being deliberate about it, you can spend hours and not even realize it. And it's a big waste of time. Okay. So that is minimizing the time thieves. And then the flip side of that is really, you want to cultivate your time creators. So there are definitely things that you can practice that will free up time for you. And one is, when your brain runs amok, take action. Just don't allow yourself to spin. Catch yourself. What's one thing I can do? Go do it. Action, 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 action. Break out of the rumination, the spinning, the confusion. Don't allow yourself to go there. Second, be deliberate about your priorities. So what I like to do every month is I do a priority list, my top 5 priorities. And then when people ask me to do things, I bounce that against my deliberate priorities list. And if it doesn't correlate somehow with my priorities list, I say no, or it'll have to be later. This is a way to be really, really deliberate about how you use your time. And it's not that hard to do. Just write down your top 5 priorities. Mine are me, my family, my coaching clients, my business, and free time. It can be anything you want, but use it as a guide to say, am I using my time in alignment with my priorities? Because that's where we get in trouble, is we're using our time and it has nothing to do with our priorities. And then you wonder why you can't get your priorities done, or you feel misaligned. That's why, because you're not being deliberate about it. So just be deliberate about that. Practice single tasking. So I've done a lot of research on task switching, all the things, and let me tell you, task switching is a huge productivity killer. It takes probably about, I think it's 20% of the time of a task to redirect yourself once you've been distracted. So if you're doing something and you hop to something else, it's going to take you a couple minutes to get back to where you were originally on the original task. Now you can imagine we do this all the time. We think multitasking is more productive. It is not. Single tasking is more productive because you get one thing done, move on to the next. One thing done, move on to the next. So you can practice this by reducing distractions and by just focusing and being present on one thing. I know it seems not logical, but it is. It is totally logical. You can do all kinds of Googling, do the Googles about task switching, and you will see what I am talking about. Here's the other thing. I am very deliberate about my day, and I don't do like a, time blocking calendar or any of the things. I just pick 3 things that I'm going to get done today. I don't say what time I'm going to get them done. I leave it up to the flow of the day. And I always get those 3 things done. And so I do that every single day. So that's 21 things that I get done and knock out every single week. Where if here's what I found for me. If I do time blocks and I schedule, I don't do it. I fight it. I rebel. I don't get anything done if I do it that way. And you might be the same way. I don't like a lot of constraint and rules around my day, but I do like to get stuff done. So that's one thing to try as well. And then make sure that you're focusing on incremental improvement. I like to every week do an evaluation of what went well, what didn't go well, and what is one thing that I can do next week to improve. And it might be, I need to reduce my social media time by 5 minutes. Or, I need to not look at email first thing when I get up in the morning. Or I'm going to try this. You want to do this from a very curious mindset, not beating yourself up, not saying that, oh, I did a horrible job last week on managing my time. No, you did a great job. You can improve. Okay. So that is it. Those are the 3 things. Own it. Stop being a victim of time. Minimize your time thieves and cultivate your time creators. So I do have a workbook that I'm also going to post in the group of a couple of questions that you can ask yourself and do some writing to figure out how are you really thinking about time and what is your mindset around time, and some exercises to help you figure out how do you want to think, because you get the pick. Just because you think you don't have enough time doesn't mean you have to keep thinking it. You can pick, you can choose to say, no, I'm in total control of my time. You can choose to think that. You just have to practice. That's it. So again, if you get nothing else out of this class, stop being a victim to time. It'll change your life. You will be amazed at how much time you free up when you are deliberate about it. When you are deliberate about how you will use your time, you liberate all kinds of time. It's amazing. And I highly encourage you to do that. So I just want to wrap this up with, listen, you are enough. You're not broken. You are not broken. You have a couple of ingrained stories about time that are in the way of the results that you want out of your life. And I can help you find them and teach you how to reprogram them. It's a very simple process. It takes some time, but it's a very simple process. I know you can do it. So life is so short, my friends, really. Coaching can help you grow, thrive, come alive, and get all the results that you can imagine. Why wait to get what you want? Maybe you want a new business. Maybe you want a better aligned career. Maybe you want a promotion. Whatever it is that you want, you can have it. You just have stories that are in the way. Believe me, you would not be able to dream it up if you were not capable of doing it. That's not the way your brain works. If you can see it, you can have it. Okay? So book a discovery call today so I can understand your particular situation, what you think the problem is, and my view on what I think the problem is. And then we can talk about a framework of how to get you from where you are to where you want to be. You can do it. My goal is to help you. I want to help you. I want you to have the life that you dream of. I want you to be calm. I want you to be peaceful. I want you to feel fulfilled every single day. So message me. Let's get it done. I have openings for the rest of the week. We can get it set up and we can have a great conversation. All right, my friends, if you have questions about any of this time stuff, let me know. I am happy to help, happy to coach you on it, whatever. Remember, you are in charge of your time. No one else is. All right, my friends, have a great day.